that's my jam, bro.
Yeah, yeah. You got the nice little intro going.
Hey, hey, moving on up like the Jeffersons
Yeah,
in this thing, man.
stepping our game up.
Hey, man, y'all better watch out, man. We might be big time in a little bit, man. Hold up,
Yeah, man. Had to step it up.
already,
Well, man, what's been going on with y'all?
man. Yeah, they screwing me around at the job, man. Ooh,
Yeah, what's
they
happening at the job?
and they handling me rough, man. I just found an email today, man, talking about we had to get the vaccine, man,
Yeah,
because
they
we do,
kind of.
yeah, we do cover government contracts, so it's like Biden got this little mandate or whatever going around, and I got to get vaccinated by January 18th, I think, something like that. Yeah,
I thought they temporarily halted it. You know what I mean?
yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna call up in there and complain.
Yeah, you might have to hold off until
Yeah, I'm like,
till
this
the
is
last minute.
blasphemy. Y'all gonna get rid of me? Y'all can't do this to me.
Right.
So man,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
man.
put cases out on all you bitches.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Nah, but man, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's so much going on, man. I really don't even care anymore. Like it's like I don't know if they trying to whatever they trying to do. If it's a conspiracy, oh well, count me in. Like I don't care. It's just too much to worry about, man. Like it's gonna happen. Like at some point, they gonna make it to where everybody gotta get it. So like, believe it or not, like it or not, it's gonna happen, man.
Yeah, that's
You say,
crazy.
you don't believe me?
No, I know they're trying to push it on everybody.
No, they going to, bro. How they gonna?
Yeah,
Okay, what if
yeah,
they
I
say,
know. That's
okay, if you wanna go into any type of establishment, you got to be vaccinated. So to go into Walmart or to go into whatever, you got to have your vaccination card.
yeah, it's already like that in Austria where they locking you down in your house if you don't got the vaccine. Like you can't leave
Yeah,
your house.
Mm.
that's it. Yeah, man,
You see, like,
it's gonna happen, man. You ready, Terrence?
I've been vexed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's say. Oh, look at
Um.
you. Look at you. Y'all
Yeah.
niggas late.
Yeah. I think the only thing that changes the hair is the hair. So like, uh, no, I've been vexed for about a year and some change now.
Was it your choice?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, because I more so I have a lot of elderly. I got grandparents that take care of, and I didn't want to like be around them. And then they were saying like you can be asymptomatic and pass it to somebody, and then what is it? I had an uncle who his caretaker had COVID, and she didn't know, and he died.
Uh,
So it was like, damn, like okay, let me just get it just to say that at least I got it.
yeah.
But
the
yeah,
crazy thing is you could still get COVID after you got the vaccine. One of my friends just got COVID and he got
yeah,
vaccinated. So
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's one of those things, man, where they trying their best to try to control it and all of that, but at the end of the day, man, life is life, man. You just gotta live it,
right,
and whatever. I had COVID, a year or so ago, and it didn't even hit me hard. I just lost taste and smell, and for a few days, and that was it. But
right,
obviously, it's different stroke for different folk. But I think that's
right.
anything though, right? That's not
Yeah,
just COVID. It's people that die from the regular flu every day. It's
yep,
people that die from the common cold. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
It's just the people that I think the real like fear of it is like because everybody is different, like how everybody reacts to it is differently. They're like, okay, well, let's just everybody get vaccinated, so we don't got to worry about somebody over here getting just a regular flu symptoms. This
yeah,
person over here, just keeling over and dying. Like it's just
to
Russian
you.
roulette at this
yeah.
point.
You don't want to hear what my son said. my my son was like, "Man, they just ought to put everybody in one place and make everybody get it, and whoever survived, that's just what it is." I was like, "Damn, son, you ruthless, man. Where you get that
Yeah,
from?"
Crazy. Now, to me, it's just like a big money making scheme because once you get it, you don't have to keep on taking them boosters to stay so called fully vaccinated.
yeah.
Man, what ain't a money making scheme in this world?
Right.
You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying?
Like
Yeah.
every
it
6 months,
ain't.
you're gonna got to get a new booster. It's like your life is on a subscription model now, like Xbox Live.
Dang, that's crazy. They put a SaaS model on your life.
Yeah, man.
So
What's crazy is I recently been getting into like the video editing and everything. It's like everything there is on a subscription model, like all the plugins.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Uh,
Oh yeah. SaaS is the wave of the future, man. Ain't nothing. They gonna have food on subscription after a while, man.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You just sign up for a subscription and then you just get a certain amount of groceries, you know what I'm saying, every month. You know what
yeah.
I'm
They
saying?
kind of got that soft version of the Blue Apron and all of that.
Yep.
Oh yeah. That's the man, that's the trash, man. I don't believe in that.
No, it's not
Blue
good. Don't do it.
Yeah, I would say blue apron. How can you deliver good meals in a box? And oh man, come on, man. And that's
Yeah.
gonna be better than what I can make at home. Like going to the
Yeah,
grocery store, getting those same ingredients, and y'all gonna charge me more. Come on,
Yeah.
you're
man.
right.
Nah, trash.
Yeah, I guess it's
But
for those that just don't want to go to the grocery store.
golly, just get it delivered to your house. Like
Right, Amazon Fresh.
right, like it's so many people like that have access to delivery now. Like it's no excuse. Like at that point, I don't think those people gonna survive. Like the Blue Apron type of businesses, I don't think they gonna survive because it just don't make no sense. It's overpriced. Um, and then I guess maybe it have a place in some people's lives, and maybe if they actually enjoy the food, it might be all right. But yeah, subscriptions is where it's at, though, man. I think I'm gonna start doing subscriptions. Like I'm gonna I'm gonna do a subscription to my sauce. Like
Right. Yeah, you made like a new little sauce to put on food, huh?
yeah, man. I got this when I sauce, man. I made I discovered it one day. I was labbing it up in the kitchen, man. Just I was trying to think of something new and fresh to put on some wings, man, and I went through about eight eight or nine different renditions until I actually perfected it. And
Hmm.
man, it's been a staple in my household, ever since, man. That was probably like 2.5 years ago, man. My kids, they on my head all the time, man. When you gonna start selling this? You need to
Yeah.
sell this. And everybody there taste it, man. They say the same thing, man. This is awesome. So I need to stop bullcorning and go ahead and put it out there. I kind of started the process a little bit, but man, I don't know what's wrong. Like you know how it get. When you
Yeah.
have like these ideas and you kind of start the process, but you really don't dive all the way in because you got all this other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Easy to get
yeah,
discouraged.
it's easy to get. I wouldn't even say discouraged, man. I would say
Mhm.
distracted. That's a
Yeah.
better word
Yeah.
because think about like when you on a project, right? Like you digging in and especially when you're doing something brand new. Like okay, it's all exciting and everything, but then after a while, you're like, okay, I'm kind of ready to move on, or you kind of get distracted by other tasks, other things, and then next thing you know, you're not even interested, in what you were doing before. And so I think that's what my issue is that I have so many things, so many pots that I got my hands in and that I want to do that it's hard to stay focused. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Entrepreneurship is the way to go, man. But I know what you mean. I kind of force. I did like a 30-day challenge. Like I'm forcing myself to post a video every day. Just like you don't have to
Oh,
be
okay.
perfect. Just forcing myself to do something every day, man. You might just have to do that with your sauce. Like just say I'm a bottle up such and such every day.
Yeah. And I bought some bottles and stuff, and I bought some labels. I just haven't went any further than that. I need to like source out some where I can get the products in bulk that I need to actually make it with. Because like the way I'm looking at it right now, yeah, I might be able to make one batch, but like if it really, I think one thing that actually like froze me in place is like, man, what happens when the demand is out the roof and I can't keep up? Like, where do I draw the line? Like, how do I
Mhm.
go into mass production? And what I really would rather do, man, is just like link up with some kind of restaurant or some type of, entity that already does this, and then I kind of just fish it out to them and get paid like royalties or some upfront costs or something like that.
Right.
Like that way, they do all the processing and the creation and bottling and and I can just kind of sit back in the cut and just, you know, get my just desserts.
Yeah, yeah, man. I would say just get it started, man, and you know, you can worry about all that when the time get there. You know, maybe put your kids to work.
Yeah, yeah.
Family
Get in that
business.
kitchen right now.
Yeah.
Put the bottle in that stuff up. They gonna get a benefit from it. They gonna inherit it. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
like, you working towards your future.
But you know what I'm saying? Better than working a lot of these jobs, man. So
Nah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
for
people's
real.
quitting in mass.
Man, I don't know how to feel about that, man. People can't be just quitting their jobs, man. Like where they how they replacing their income, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Like what you can't just quit. You can't just quit your
Right.
job and just stop
Yeah.
working. Like they got to be doing something. What are they doing? Everybody got an OnlyFans now or something? What's going on?
Yeah, no idea, man. Like what I don't get is you know, everybody quitting their jobs, but the prices of houses are shooting through the roof. Like how y'all quitting your jobs, and you know who's buying these houses? I'm guessing these big institutions.
Man, I don't think it's big institutions, man. I think that it's just people who are looking for housing now. The demand is so high. It's the normal supply and demand problem. We got supply chain issues across the globe, right? And houses just aren't being built. You know, brand new houses just aren't being built. New house production is what keep the housing market steady, because 9 times out of 10, in most cases, you can buy a brand new house for cheaper than you can buy a used house. I'll just say used. So if there are no brand new houses being built, you know, you're not getting no good prices on brand new houses to kind of, you know, bring the market down, then the people that are selling their own houses, who think that their house is the best house on the block, you know, they don't want to sell for pennies or what the market says is worth. They want to sell it for what they think it's worth. But if they're the
Right.
only house in this area on the market, guess what? There's no competition, and there's 15 to 20 people that want to buy your house. So now what? We go into a bidding war. That bidding war pushes the price up even higher than what I even listed it for. And so now that becomes the new norm. So the next person that says, "Oh man, that house down the street just sold for 400K." Well, shoot, I'm gonna sell my house. You know what I mean? So it's just a perpetual process. And guess what? The person who just sold that house for 400,000, what they gonna go do? They're gonna go buy another house that's 400,000.
They
So
ain't, they ain't even getting ahead.
right. So you're not getting ahead, but the prices are, you know what I'm saying, continuing to go up and up and up because of that process though.
Man, the only people that's getting ahead is people that you know, they selling their investment property or they're moving to like, you know, the boondocks somewhere where houses are cheap, significantly cheaper.
Yeah, yeah. Sell it high in the market that you're in to go into a different market that's lower than yours, and then, you know, kind of take some of that equity and actually cash in on it. But man, I don't know, man. I'm actually, I don't know what I'm gonna do, man, because I just got this house, about 6 months ago,
Yeah,
and I'm contemplating, like, it's still going up in value, and I'm just like, when a year comes up, like, I never intended for this house to be like my forever home, but it's good enough for it to be that, you know what I mean, like
right.
for at least 5, 10 years. But I don't even know if I want to wait. Like, if I got an opportunity to pull some equity out of this one and then, get something a little different, well, why not? Like, because I know what goes up got to come down. This housing market can't sustain. It can't sustain itself like this.
Yeah,
Like, it just can't. Like, it's
people
been
ain't
like,
making that much money. Like, what's the housing market looking like where you at, Terrence, in LA?
No, it's crazy, man. It's like, what is it? A studio. Was it my friend just bought a house. He didn't buy a house, but he bought a, the fuck is that shit called?
condo.
Condo, yeah. For, I think his place was 400, 430, like 4 to 430K.
How much
That's a
square
one
feet?
bedroom, one bath.
Good night.
Um,
Well, how many square feet is that? About 1,000, if that.
Let me see. Hold on, I'll pull it up right now.
Man, that's crazy, man.
Not even 1,000 square feet.
I,
798.
I, yeah, I figured. I
Yeah,
was like, it probably ain't even 1,000, man. One bedroom.
324.
But see, that's what I'm thinking though. Like, okay, if I get a crib, if I get a whole crib for 28, 2,800 square feet, for 350, you know, I sell my condo, for 450, and then I go move to a place like you said, Kevin, like just to a market that's not as hot or not as high as mine.
Yeah,
That's an easy transition. I'm getting more bang for my buck, and I get to pocket some of that too. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
who don't want to do that? So I feel like this market is happening because all of these high sought after, really hot markets like California, Florida, New York, where you could sell, a 750 square feet, condo for $1 million. Like it's
Mhm.
like this is crazy, man. Even in Texas, there's some places, that's kind of out there, like Austin. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Even out here, man, like some places like like Frisco is getting pretty expensive, Plano, Highland Parks, or those expensive areas in Dallas. So
Yeah, yeah.
do you see yourself moving like how far away from where you're at, like a little country town, like maybe an hour away, or
Man, to be honest, man, me personally, I probably wouldn't be able to live too far away. I feel
Mhm.
like Cedar Hill might be the perfect like mix. Like it's not too far out, it's not too rural, but it's not overly, but it's going to be that at some point, which I feel
Right.
like is a good thing. So it's a lot of development going on, kind of what Mansfield was about 10 years ago, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like it's like Mansfield now is going crazy because the development. Same thing with like Plano, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, it's just like once things start actually booming and start developing, you can't stop it. Like because everybody wants to be into the new hot, what I'm saying, area. So and then
yeah.
when you got people moving from, like California, like I said, Florida, New York, all these high density, high, real estate market areas, they're coming here, taking that, $1 million and going into these new development areas, building these mansions, and they win it. Like,
Right.
so they're pushing the development, driving these prices up, and we just gotta, the market gotta catch up. Like the
Yeah,
wages and stuff, it gotta catch up. Like
yeah.
nobody's making more money, but all the, cost of living is skyrocketing. Like that inflation is
Right.
going, it's out of control.
A lot of people getting pushed out of their houses because like the property taxes out here is higher than some of these other places that we don't have the state income tax, so they compensate with the property tax.
Right. But as coders, we kind of look at it from a standpoint of think about where you were 5 years ago, right? Like, do you feel like at where you at now, does that equal where you thought you would be as a coder? Like when you decided to get into coding, like I'm pretty sure we all could agree that money had something to do with it. It was, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we had, I love what I do. I have a passion for it. But man, at the end of the day, man, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. I ain't
right.
doing this for free. So did you have something in your mind, like as far as when you did finally start making some substantial income, what your life would look like?
Man, but with me, I thought I would be, like I probably have a house paid off within like 10 years or something. But just it's crazy, man. Just the rate at which those some of these houses shot up, like hundreds of thousands in like a year.
Yeah.
That's literally extra decade or so of working. So uh,
But so how does that make you feel? Like, because I know me personally, man, like my thought process, I can't, to be honest, man, I don't really look at like where I thought I should be because I would have to go back a lot further than just me starting the code to
right,
actually tap into where I thought I would be. But even just within the short time period that, I think, well, let's see, I've been in the market for about, I mean, in this industry for about 8 to 9 years almost. Yeah, almost 9 years. And so it never really dawned on me what type of life that I would lead being a coder and trying to hit that, that higher level of income. But man, the cost of living is rising faster than the
Yeah.
incomes are. So it's like I don't really feel like I'm balling. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I'm just doing it. Like I don't feel like I'm just, but at the same time, I do have a lot more responsibilities, than like for you guys.
Yeah.
Like I don't have any kids, like that y'all are paying any child support for or anything like that. But man, I feel like I haven't even graced the surface of where my lifestyle should be based off my
You,
income.
you remember like when like in the '90s or whatever, oh, 6 figures, oh man, you balling, you gonna have you a little mini mansion. Like that's
Yeah,
kind of the vision. But
yeah,
now like it's living in like a little like okay, it's a decent looking house, but it's like a middle class lifestyle, except you're in the city. You know what I mean?
right, right. And so it's like, is that is the middle class becoming the new norm? Like as far as what six figures means, like six figures really don't
Yeah.
mean nothing no more.
Like I think everybody else is gonna have to move to the suburbs. So it's kind of like a reverse flight. Like you remember like white flight where they all left the cities and went to the suburbs, and now it's like they're all coming back to the city with a bunch of money, and everybody else is getting kicked back out to the suburbs again. So
Huh.
yes,
Man. They can't kick me out though.
yeah,
I'm gonna I'm gonna be up in this thing. What?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you want me to leave? F you, pay me.
But yeah, what about you, Terry? Man, you making what you thought you would, or
I'm definitely in a different position than I thought I would be. Like coming from working at McDonald's and
yeah,
working in like tech support
yeah,
at Office Depot is definitely a lot better. Um, but like I was just talking to my boy today, the one who just got his condos. Like what I pay in rent, I could pay for a home, like a mortgage on a house,
yeah,
and it's like like Brian was saying, like at the end of the day, like yeah, we got passion for what we do, we love what we do. Like right now, I'm working on this little React project while you guys are talking, and but at the end of the day, it's money, right?
yeah,
Obviously, no one's gonna do anything for free, like unless they're just like that passionate about it. And even then, like I put that is like in italicized and quoted and bolded, like they just got to be just about it, like to a degree where it's like money doesn't matter.
Right.
But
yeah.
like
I mean,
when I'm hearing you guys talk, I'm thinking about like where does this lead to? Like, what's the end game, right? Like
yeah,
Brian's been in this game for like 8 9 years. Okay, you got a home, you got kids, like okay, but what's your end goal,
Yeah.
right? Like we all got to have an exit strategy because like one if the bubble bursts, right, and then which I doubt it ever will, but at least in the tech world. But like if you just get let go one day, like what's your backup plan? And I think
Yeah.
everybody needs to have that backup plan. Like
yeah,
if that white flight quote unquote happens and we get pushed out of our homes due to being bought out, like what's the backup plan? And it's interesting. It's interesting.
yeah. Man,
To
that's
circle back on topic, it's like I'm ideally, do I like where I'm at? Yeah, it's cool. It's comfortable. Like, is this where I think I want to be? Like, no, not really.
Yeah, man, you want to be popping bottles at the club, man.
right.
Like, man, I'm supposed to be Lamboing it up, and like
Yeah,
I think it's a very misconceived concept of what life looks like when you are successful. I don't think I don't think it's bright lights, flashy, lifestyle. I think
yeah,
it's just
No.
being happy.
yeah.
Because the level of success that anybody achieves is all going to be relative to that individual. So
Right.
somebody making 50K could be just as successful theoretically than somebody making 500K. It just
Yeah.
depends on what they want in life. Next to somebody who might even not make any money and they just
Mhm.
live off the land. That could be their dream life. That could
Right.
be their
Yeah,
level of success. And being
yeah,
able to achieve whatever those goals are is what it's really about. And so I kind of asked that because when we're looking at chasing, I'm watching my kids grow up and trying to become young adults. And, my son, he's a senior this year. He's about to graduate. My oldest daughter, she just turned 21. And, watching her kind of fumble through life and trying to find her way. And, you know, and this kind of just makes me wonder, man, like is this is the chase for that end goal, which never actually seems to be right in your grasp, is that real? You know what I mean? What are we actually trying to accomplish, on these journeys that we create for ourselves to feel fulfilled in life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man,
Go ahead.
oh, but yeah, man, like you know what I'm saying, like you think about your kids' future, man. Think about how expensive college is now. It's gonna be like $1 million to get your degree. You know what I'm saying?
And then that's the crazy thing that you mentioned college, because man, I would assume that college is less and less valuable year
Yeah,
over year.
Yeah.
Like I mean, just think about yourself, Kevin. Like you got into this industry without even a day of any type of degree in this field. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't even need to go to college to do what you're doing right now. It's so many, it's so many ways to monetize your life these days, whether it be social media or affiliate marketing. It's so many ways to be successful. This world almost it almost like
yeah,
rewards you for not going to college. Like
yeah. Forcing you into an entrepreneurial role. That's why I've been really trying to get this entrepreneurial thing going, like getting this podcast going. I know you've been looking into your multiple streams of income too, man. That's what you got to do, man. You got to pass the business down. Otherwise, you're putting your kids into a position where they got like $1 million of debt, but oh, here's a 50K job. You know what I mean? As opposed to
man,
here, I'm gonna hand you down a mini empire.
man, that's on them, man. I ain't got nothing to do with me. Man, y'all got to get it how y'all live. You know what I'm saying? I get my kids the same. No, I'm just playing. Now I do. That's a big part of my my drive, man. Is to provide, not even provide something to them tangible. I'm
Mm,
talking about providing them like almost like a mindset. Like I feel
right.
like passing down a mindset is way more important than passing down, something, monetary or
Yeah.
tangible. Like
Yeah.
if you could, like they say, man, you give a man a fish, then you could feed him for one day, but you teach a man to fish, and you can feed him for the rest of his life. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's the type of things that we need to really roll down and pass on, is the mindset. But like I talked to you about this before, Kevin, where you were like, well, sometimes you just got to do things, and just get it done, or just
Yeah.
start somewhere, which is true. But then I also, ask myself, well, how can I teach somebody else something that I don't even, feel proficient at? So it's like when I start thinking about being financially literate or having an entrepreneur, drive or mindset, like if I want to pass that down to my kids and I want that to stick, then I have to be successful at it. If I'm over here with failed business after failed business, or, you know, I'm over here being trash with my money and not being financially literate,
Right.
not investing, not building my financial future. Well, how can I tell my kids and preach to them like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do? I'd be looking at, my parents, if they told me that, like, you ain't even doing that. I ain't gonna tell me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they can look at you, you don't want them to, but they can look at you as a warning sign, kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
that the wino on the by the
Yeah.
gas station who been gang banging his whole life. You could tell you, hey man,
Yeah.
don't do this, or you end up like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You calling me a wino, Kevin?
Yeah.
Say, man, watch out, man. Let me tell him my business. Nah,
I
but
can go
what'd you
ahead.
say, Terrence?
No, I was just saying, like, I can speak on that, like, where, like, you feel like, how do you teach somebody something that you don't know yourself, or you're not proficient in, right? It's almost like what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? And it's almost like you just if you can't teach them the right way, like, because there's so many different ways to skin a cat. They say, right? There's so many different ways that you could get it and become financially literate through books or YouTube or however you learn it. You just gotta learn it. And if I'm not financially literate, for example, and I want to teach somebody how to be that, and all I have is failures to show, I could just say, okay, here's what I do know, what not to do. Like, here's the 100 ways that I tried and it didn't work, and don't just avoid these 100 ways and go find something else. Because
basically like,
yeah,
good luck, sucker.
yeah, because it's like, I have relatives who are a part of the street life, and they're still a part of the street life, and it's more so because that's all they know.
Right.
And they look at me in jealousy because I never got involved in that street life, and it's almost like, how do I say it? It's like it's that what if factor. It's almost like if you look at somebody else and you're like, man, they got what I want. What if only I did this, or if only I did this instead.
But listen, man. I was just having a conversation with one of my partners today, man. And I don't want to get into the subject matter, but the concept that you were just talking about, Terrence, is very, I don't know, I don't get it, man, because it's like people get down on themselves about what they could have done, but you can still do that though. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I was telling him, like he just kept on talking, man, I just messed up, man. I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. But all those things you wish you would have done, you can still do today.
Right.
Like there's nothing stopping you from, like, get off of your
Yeah.
soapbox. Like get in there. Like that comment you made about, when people like say things like, oh, well, that's all they know. Well, nobody came out knowing anything. Like
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
know anything. It's your desire to know something that makes the difference. So no, you didn't know anything else, but you have to have a desire to learn something different.
Yeah.
You have to want to get out your environment.
That's a big takeaway. Instead of him hating, you could say, "Hey, man, how did you get a job in the industry?
Yeah.
Can you put me on?"
Yeah. I know, but there's only so many times that you could talk with that conversation, and
Right.
it's a, what is it, the immovable force and the unstoppable force just colliding.
The unstoppable force meets an unmovable object.
Immovable object. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So and I just keep it 100 with them, and just keep it pushing. So but yeah, man, like I think like two things just came to mind, and I'm gonna have to step away for a little bit, but I just wanted to bring these 2 points. Is like, anybody who was listening to this that might be in a similar situation, who's like, man, I should start. If you're trying to start a barbecue business and you want to get your kids to do it, Brian, just go ahead and do it. And if you want, like, to learn to code, like, and you're hesitating and you're wallowing in the whole, like, what if, and I should have, could have, would have, like, just start. Like, Udemy's always having sales, and there's YouTube, and like, I showed you how many books I got, like, downstairs, like, it's not about the how, it's just starting, and just like keep going, because it's gonna suck and you're not gonna want to do it. You're gonna have to force yourself to do like a video a day or whatever, but like, it's really just about like getting that drive and just doing it. And as POC, like as people of color, like, the cards are always stacked against us. Like, regardless of what I look like or how I dress or how I talk, like, I can't change my skin color. And so, like, you have to, like, to try like 100 times more than the next guy next to you, because that's the only thing you got is your grit and your hustle. Like, that, you gotta have that mamba mentality of just like waking up and getting it, because that's all you have at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I just had that conversation with my oldest, my daughter, because like, you just have to want more. Like if everybody, but I feel like that the way that the world works, is that if everybody can do it, but everybody won't do it.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yep.
can, put forth the effort, but just everybody won't because it's not easy.
No, it's not.
Everybody want everything to come easy, and everybody want everything to be handed to them. Especially this next generation coming up, like my
Yeah.
kids' generation. Man, it's terrible, man. Like they don't have the same tenacity and the same, will to be great outside of just being like overnight,
Yeah.
social media
Mhm.
stars or everything.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
want everything handed to them. They feel so entitled to this world, and they don't have to work for it. And then like I'm trying to my best to like circumvent that
Yeah.
thought process in my kids, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job just by leading by example. But a lot of kids aren't getting that, so
yeah,
that fact that you just made, Terrence, is it's always been that. That's
Yeah.
always been the case.
Yeah.
My parents did it. My parents did it. But it's up to us, as this generation to give that, same will and drive by not putting everything on a silver platter, by not making
yeah,
everything
Yeah.
microwavable, by
It,
not making
yeah,
everything prime delivery.
I'll say this, like, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, right? So like with the cell phone, like it's a double-edged sword, right? You have instant access to anything. I can ask Siri like what the square root of whatever is, and she'll tell me. But like if I just use it to BS around on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube all day, then I'm just gonna fill my mind with just like it's almost like eating fast food every day, right?
Right.
Like this next generation, and even partially, my generation is like uh we were exposed to that, like that drip feed of dopamine of just like going to Instagram, going into a feed, scrolling forever, ever, and you lose that drive to go out and like sit and read a book, right? Like my attention span nowadays is like shot because
yeah,
I don't read as much as I used to. But before, like back when there was just dial up, like I could sit and read a book, like I could tear up Harry Potter backwards and forwards and everything, just
Yeah.
because that was my entertainment. Nowadays, it's like, yeah, let me turn on a 10-minute episode of whatever and get through that and just use that
so,
all throughout the day.
so man, like you
Yeah.
said, man, it's society, they're drip feeding everybody this instant gratification, but it's not good. But think about like old school video games. Like I don't know if you ever played like the Nintendo games. Those games were extremely hard.
Yeah,
You have to play like 50 to 100 times to beat it.
yeah,
And now, the games are so easy. Like they
mm,
just have the checkpoint, like, 5 minutes from where you died at.
yeah,
And, like Brian was talking about, they're just giving you success. That's what these kids come with, this expectation that their success is going to be given to them. They don't know how to keep grinding in the face of adversity.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. You gotta learn how to get hit. You gotta learn how to get hit. Like that's the first
Yeah.
rule of learning how to fight. It's like if you never experienced getting your ass whooped, like it don't matter how hard you can hit somebody, because if they hit you and you flinch like a bitch, like it don't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
it,
Because
it, it
you
Yep.
doesn't.
got to lose sometimes. You got to lose to succeed. And
Yeah.
those failures, they're going to
Who you
slow.
who you telling, man? Like who you telling? I think I failed like 4 interviews this year
Right.
alone.
Maybe more.
But each interview that fail or quote unquote fail, like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you don't get, is teaching you something because you can learn from
Yeah.
that. And I feel like I
Yeah.
teach I teach my kids this. I tell them all the time, the best way to success is not just failure, it's
Mhm.
learning from your failures. It's
Yeah.
the process of failing is no good if you don't learn from it, because
Yeah.
if I try to accomplish something and I fail at it, but I use the same tactics that I failed with the first time, I'm just going to be in a perpetual cycle of
Mhm.
failing. I'm never going to actually build myself up to get closer to success. And
Yeah.
so it's about being attentive to your failures. Like you have
Yeah.
to learn from it. And I tell people all the time, I think the biggest difference between me and the average person is that I learn from my mistakes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's what separates me. Like I'm like probably one of the most successful people in my circle. And I'm
Yeah.
not tooting my horn, but I'm just saying that when I look at how rare it is for somebody to have the drive to be successful and to be able to learn and reiterate over processes to be able to be successful in the
Mhm.
long term. See, like you said, everybody wants instant gratification. So if I can't be successful tomorrow, then I don't want to put in not an extra day, not an extra hour of work that might
Right.
actually make me successful next week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you ever heard that story about the one? I think it was one strike away from gold or something like that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
The man who's digging for diamonds and he's like one strike away
Yeah.
from hitting the well
yeah,
and then he gives up.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then another guy, he said he sells his equipment and stuff to the next guy. The
Hmm.
next guy comes down, goes a foot, and then he strikes it. You know what I'm saying? He
Mhm.
strikes
Yeah.
success, and it's just like you just gotta have tenacity, man. You gotta
Yeah.
be you gotta be built differently. You gotta have, like I
Yeah.
said, it's all about your mindset. Like you have to be willing to go until you get to wherever you're going. Like
Yeah.
don't
Delayed
stop.
gratification.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I'm
yeah,
gonna say this. It's like you what is it? Cat Williams said. He said, if you ain't got haters, you're not doing it right. And like when you get to a certain point and people see that drive and they see that shine, they say don't shine too bright, right? Because then like people pull you down, or they try to talk bad about you. Um, that's normal, right? Everybody does it, even if they don't say it in front of your face,
Yeah.
like they'll say it behind your back.
right.
And like even Jesus had a Judas. So like I'm not saying like everybody's out there talking shit about people, but there's people uh, that are gonna talk about you, whether it's online through comments or
Yeah.
video replies or whatever. Like everybody's gonna have an opinion, and you just gotta keep on the path
Yeah.
because like
Honestly, man, it's better that they hate on you because you're successful than them talking about you
yeah,
because that's
yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
Oh, you mean
yeah.
like you was talking about me earlier for being a wino? Man, just put me all out on blast, man. That's kind of nah, but yeah, I actually encourage people to critique me. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
I I don't I don't care what people think, but it's
Yeah.
interesting to dissect the like process of people who attack others because they're not satisfied with themselves. You know what I mean? I see it all the time. Like it's like why spend all that energy hating when you could be just as successful as that person? Like I've never seen anybody that I'm like, ah man, it sucks that they got this, or it sucks that they got that, or that they've reached this
Right.
particular level. I'm always thinking like, if they could do it, I could do it. But it's just the level of confidence that I have in myself, and I just
Yeah.
feel like, man, if I say I want to fly, I can make it happen some kind of way if that's what I
Mhm.
want to do. Like there's nothing that I want to do that I can't do in my own head. Like I feel like there's nothing that I can't do. Like that's just how I feel about myself, and I feel like that's a driving force that you cannot buy. You can't, you know, you can't monetize, drive. Like that's just something that you just
Nah,
have to low key be
can't.
born with. You can't create that. You can't fabricate that. And then some people got it, and some people don't.
Yeah,
And yeah, I feel you on that, man. You see, some people you just can't pull up, but I just encourage people and hope they find it in them, But if they don't, we can't babysit other grown-ups.
Right?
yeah,
I got enough kids already. You know?
Right.
Yeah. But most of
I
my people,
heard.
go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Oh, yeah, I heard something interesting. I was watching this woman that produces. She produces like a bunch of courses on Udemy, and like with graphic design. She says like the reason why I do so much, I'm able to accomplish so much is because I'm not a perfectionist. Like she just gets it done. I feel like a lot. One thing that sometimes keeps me from getting done is that perfection mindset. Like, oh, before I release this, I want this to be perfect.
yeah,
And you just kind of just well, I'm not going to do it because that's a lot of work to get it to that releasable state. But like Terrence, you can attest to this thing was real bootleg at first, like when we were on the Anchor FM, like you hear
yeah,
dogs in the background, all kinds of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. it doesn't have to be perfect, man. You just have to start. And like, uh, I'm guilty of this, right? I'll think of all like before I even start a task, or I'll get a task, and I'll think of all the crazy little edge cases that probably no one ever thinks
Yeah,
about. And then I'll burn through like 30 minutes or an hour just coming up with all the ifs and the else's and all this other
Yeah,
shit. And then it's like, okay, I spent all this time. I'm prepared. I'm prepared for war. And then my task was like 2 or 3 lines of like something really simple. So
right.
it's like it's like somebody wanted to go to the gym and they watch all the videos. They find
Yeah,
out how to make the perfect diet. They find out all these tutorials on how to make the perfect bulking diet and all this other stuff, and they watch all
yeah,
these videos and motivation and all this other bullshit, but they don't they burn through 8 hours, and then at the end of the day they don't go to the gym.
right.
So it's like you built up all this like coal essentially, and you didn't even start the fire to get it going.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Do you
for
remember Brian, we was at Consultmore, how it's kind of like, kind of like that where all the edge cases and all of that,
hmm
and
Yeah,
none
yeah,
of those
yeah,
edge cases ever came up.
yeah. It's like, well, it's like if you building a door, you'd be like, well, what if a rhinoceros come charging at it?
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
okay, yeah, okay. In that particular case, the door will break. Okay, but come on, man. Like that is such an edge case. Like, come on, man. Like
Yeah.
let's just go down the happy path of people just putting their normal human hand on the doorknob and twisting to the and twisting to the
yeah,
right and pushing forward. Like, okay, like and you can I mean, you can create any edge case, right? Like you can fabricate the worst case scenarios that'll
yeah,
probably never happen in a million
hmm
years. But if you spend all your time trying to address things that may never happen, it's like I don't know how much safer you can feel or confident you can feel about your product or your
yeah,
results.
Yeah.
Like you said, Terrence, you just gotta start, man.
yeah. That reminds me of this old lady. She had this interview. There was a interview that was done for this lady that she was in a nursing home, and she's like, if you could do anything over again, what would you do? And she said, I would play less safe.
Yeah,
Like she didn't drink, she didn't do drugs, she didn't party. She played it safe, and she said she regretted it. Even though she might have lived a long life, she was like in her 90s or whatever at the time, but she was like, I played it too safe.
yeah,
I don't have I don't have any crazy stories to talk about. I don't have anything like I look at other people who are out living life and and I just didn't. There's so many things that I didn't do, right? And
yeah,
so I think it's more. It's again like you're thinking of all these crazy edge cases of like the big bad monster that could be on the other side of that door instead of just taking your hand, twisting the
Yeah.
knob, making sure the knob works. Okay, does it
yeah,
turn left when I turn right? Does it turn right when I turn left? Like, you
yeah,
know, just open the door first and then see what's on the other side.
Man,
yeah,
if you never start, man, you fail guaranteed. If you
yeah,
never start, you stay in failure.
yeah,
Like
Yeah,
failure is not bad if you don't stay there. If you
yeah,
yeah,
learn, like Brian was saying, if you learn and you work your way out, it's
yeah,
yeah.
part of the process.
Yeah, part of the process. I tell my kids all the time, man, don't be afraid to, you know, to inquire. The worst thing, that can happen is you get told no. And like but
Hmm.
not asking is the same thing as being told no. So
yeah. You're telling
Right.
yourself no.
yeah, it's like you're already where you're at if you don't ask. So you might as well, inquire. You might as well find out. That way
Hmm.
you'll know for sure. And then if that's the case, then you figure out another approach, another way to accomplish it. But at least you scratch the surface. At least
You
you
know
tried.
what's so crazy? Why do we fear the word no so much? Like like oh, I want to raise. Oh man, the boss he might throw me out the window. So we start picturing
Well,
that.
it's just it's a natural human defense mechanism, man. Rejection hurt emotionally, and unless you're like me and you just don't give a damn about stuff like that, like that's very hard to overcome. Like fear of being emotionally devastated is hard, man. Like it's hard to deal with, and I overcame that a long time ago, man. Like at some point in my life, I'm not gonna get into the details of it, but Like I just made up my mind that anything that happens to me is my own fault. And so, if as long as
Right.
I can take responsibility for myself, it doesn't matter. Nobody else can't control my
Mhm.
state of emotional, status or my mental status. Like I choose whatever it is that my mental state is, and I choose whatever my emotional state is. So you can come and slap me right now. I can't say, "Oh, you made me mad." or you made me angry. Like I chose to be angry because of what you did, and I
Mhm.
have control over that. And I'll look at it like, well, if I wasn't in your vicinity or around you, then you wouldn't have had that opportunity. So it's my fault you slapped me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I always approach everything from a standpoint or a mindset of what could I have done differently to change the outcome that I actually experienced. And
Right.
then, because I can't control you, I can't control outside forces. I can only control what I do and how I react or respond to those things.
Right. So you know it's interesting. Like one of the most intelligent creatures out there is the octopus. Like you put the octopus in like a box, it'll find a way to escape. You know,
Yeah.
and the thing is, like a lot of people, they think that just because somebody put them in this box in this certain place that they got to stay there. No, you can get out. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, even in our community, oh man, the white man, he ain't giving us jobs. He ain't doing this or that. Well,
There's plenty
you
of
know,
opportunity out there.
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of opportunity.
Create
You just
jobs.
gotta
Yeah,
find a way
create
out.
it. Hell yeah. With the influencer movement and YouTube and all that stuff, man,
Right.
social media, there's so many opportunities that you can create for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really buy the whole, you know, victim role. Like as far
Yeah,
as
me neither.
yeah, when it comes to like I hear people talking about all the time, oh well, my parents never showed me.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that it don't matter. Like you
The book
still
said,
blaming them and you a whole adult now. Like you can't you
like,
can't blame them
they
no
don't.
more. Now it's just you. You don't have oh they didn't show me. Why they gotta show you? You should want
Right.
more. You should want better. You should like
Yeah.
get off
But
your
then,
ass.
The internet's right there. Like you can look
yeah.
up Drake news. Why can't you look up how to improve my credit score? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I don't, I take pride in forcing, my kids to learn things. Like I challenge them so much. But you know what's crazy is that as they have gotten older, they are more well equipped to handle the world because again they're not naive. Number one, they challenge everything. Why? Because I challenge them all the time. I'm like, they'll ask me a question and I'll ask them a question back because I don't want you to just go out there looking to be given answers because you can
Yeah.
get steered wrong that way. I want you to go out there and be able to do your own research, come to your own conclusions, gather your own understanding based off of the things that you have, concluded yourself. Like, don't just take whatever somebody gives you, challenge it, challenge. And it's worked for me. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So I can't assume that it's a bad way to, approach, this world. Like, because this world will chew you up and spit you out. Like, it don't
yeah,
really give a damn about you and your life. Like, you
yeah,
just you just a speck on on this huge planet, man. Like,
yeah,
what
man.
make you
Oh,
go
yeah,
ahead?
if you let somebody drive you, you're just gonna be like a workhorse. They're gonna drive you into profits in their pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if you just stay at your job, you never make moves to get a higher salary. They're gonna keep you at that 60,000, 50,000, or whatever you're making. You
yeah,
gotta.
yeah. I would if I was in a position. Sure, you ain't you gonna do the same job that you've been doing, and I ain't gotta pay you no more.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Yep.
Keep
Keep
the
them right
party
where you're
going.
at.
Yeah,
Yep.
Don't let them learn anything new.
yeah. I give you a little a little holiday party. At the end of the year, man, we have a
Yeah,
Christmas party.
yeah.
So,
Pizza for
yeah,
everybody.
peace for everybody. Or what's the name? Consult more favorite thing. They want to order Dickies
Oh yeah, that's
every
the
every
worst
every
barbecue in
time,
Dallas.
man. Man, it's the worst barbecue on the planet. It was free though. We
Oh
were
man,
happy
that's
too, boy.
cool. Yeah, thanks for the pump, guys. Real cool.
Like, is it a raise in these ribs? don't know for
Yeah, man, I
fantasy.
agree with y'all, man. You got to go get it, man. That's why I've been trying to make these entrepreneurial moves, man. And spending like quite a bit of money getting, building a setup. Like you could tell the production quality of the show is improving. It's going to continue to improve, but you got to invest in yourself.
Yeah, man,
And
I'm gonna stop being obviously I got kind of blindsided, but I'm gonna have to
yeah,
set me up a spot that I can so I could be on cam, and I wasn't prepared. So
well, it's all
uh,
good, man. At least you showed up today. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
man, and on another note, like at least you also like invested in your other business. Ain't you doing the trucking thing?
yeah, I'm trying to get that going, man.
Yeah,
It's been challenging to say the least, man. It definitely ain't no walk in the park. It ain't like
right.
going to Walmart. You can just go buy a trucking business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like oh yeah, let me get that get that trucking
right.
business right there. So it's definitely been challenging, man.
Yeah,
I'm learning. I'm being patient. I'm not getting discouraged. You know what I mean? Like because
yeah,
there's a couple times, man, I was like, ooh, man, like this is more. And I thought about it, man. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna just count my losses and what I'm saying, just try to do something different. But I honestly believe in the process, man. I believe in it, and I feel like if I just stick with it and just
mhm,
get started, man, just I'm right there. I just need to, stay strong, stay steadfast, keep my head on straight, and stick with it. And I want to see it through.
yeah. It's kind of like that gold mine thing you brought up earlier. You know what I'm saying? You might be one last hit of the pickaxe away from striking gold. Just
Yeah,
stick with it.
yeah, yeah. So I'm doing that, man, and I almost got into analysis paralysis
Yeah,
with this process, man. I almost, like, oh, I want the perfect, opportunity. Well, nothing gonna ever
yeah,
be perfect. You
exactly.
just gotta roll with it, man. And as long as the numbers shake out, none of that other stuff matters. So
Right. Every time I waited for the perfect opportunity, I ended up failing. Like it never came. You know.
it's like every time, man. Like it's never going. Perfect don't exist in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Perfect does not exist in any shape, form, or fashion. Like this is an
You just
imperfect world.
you
Like
just waiting for a fantasy.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So you just got to
It's like
get
you
it,
waiting
man.
for Superman to fly in your window and come bring you $1 million.
Like
That ain't
Superman, what the
happening.
hell you doing here? How you know where I live? Get out before I call the police. Got to be out your mind. You gonna pay for that window too. Good night. Yeah, man. I'm probably about to hop off, man.
Yeah,
Get
yeah, we
get
got a
back
good
to business.
episode though.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.